Alright, so this is going to be part 5 to What If Deku Had Dark Matter. So with that being said, let's just roll the intro.
The bad bitch, like she average. I'm a savage, little hoe, what you want do? I'm about cash if the wild fast. I'ma get that little nigga by any means.
Alright, so in the last part, we just got done with the kind of the obstacle course, and this is actually going to go over the rest of the sports festival. So yeah, so the first part we're actually going to start off with is actually the cavalry battle. So yeah, in the last episode of the last part, Deku would have gotten first due to the fact that he's a lot faster with his wings, and he has multiple pairs of them. I believe it's 3 at this point, 3 pairs of wings. So yeah, so Deku, people would see him as a very strong, person in the sports festival, since he was the first one to, win the obstacle course. But they don't really know too much of his quirk. Really, he did display it, right? But they don't really typically understand it because it's not like a normal simple quirk like the others are. So people are a little bit hesitant to actually join his team. So let's say he goes with the normal team that he would go with, like he would normally do in canon. So that's where he would get Mai, Uraraka, and Tokoyami, right? To kind of balance out that team. Because Deku, he's kind of considerate. He wants them to kind of show off their power as well so that they can get a really good internship. So he's not going to use most of his powers, but if he needs to, he's going to use it to protect them. So they would all get in their kind of stance. Deku would be on the top since he would be able to protect everyone at once. And Uraraka, Tokoyami, and Mai would be at the bottom holding him up. So the timer would go off and everyone would start rushing to different people, especially Deku, since he has the highest kind of mark on his head. And Bakugo would go straight for Deku because he doesn't like him. So Mai and Uraraka would kind of use Mai would use her like kind of rocket boots to kind of hover boots, I don't think they're called, to kind of lift everyone up. And Uraraka would use her zero gravity to make them weightless. And Deku's just kind of there letting them do their thing so that they could actually get exposure and not have him like hog the spotlight. So yeah. So this is when Bakugo would rush Deku, and this is when Tokoyami's Dark Shadow would come in to kind of block the attack. And this is when Deku would be like, nice shot, or, nice save, Tokoyami. He's like, and then Tokoyami would be like, let's keep guard in case there's another attack. And this is when Todoroki would come with his eyes trying to block, go between Bakugo and Deku, right? So that's what he would do. So after that was done, he would go towards Todoroki would go towards Deku in hopes of getting his kind of headband. And this is when Bakugo would get really angry, and this is when Monoma would come and take his flag. So yeah, at this point it goes kind of like in canon, where Bakugo spends the time kind of going after Monoma because of how annoying he is. So this is when they would just have like a kind of fight between Todoroki and Deku. So Todoroki would continue to use ice, and Mai would try to dodge it, and any ice that would get near would be blocked by Dark Shadow. So Ida has the idea of using his reciprocal burst to go towards, or basically rush him, right? So as this is happening, he rushes towards Deku, and Todoroki is about to actually get his headband, but this is when Deku's wings actually sprout and block the attack, causing them to kind of miss and continue going forward, right? And Todoroki's shocked that Deku was actually able to react fast enough to block this hit. So they're not going to be able to do a second try because his engines would be overheated at this point. And yeah, So what Todoroki does is that he freezes the engines like he does during the Stain fight to actually help out Ida in this point. So yeah. I also forgot that I have a Discord now, so if you guys want to join and give me what if ideas or give me ideas for my other series like my thoughts on or one season run, then you could actually go there to actually give me those ideas. If you want to share fan art, you could do that as well and things like that. So if you really want to join my Discord, I'll have it in the link, or you could go to my community tab and see it there, or you could even go to my about section on my YouTube to see it right there. Anyone's welcome. And yeah, so if you really want to be part of the community, then you could go and join. We already have around 20 members at this point. I think around that. But yeah, if you want to join, I really appreciate it. And yeah. So after this, after Todoroki would have frozen the parts of Ida's kind of engines, this is when he would be able to do another attack. But this is when Tokoyami would be ready for it, and so would Deku. So both of them would be able to block the attacks coming through, and they would have to kind of jump back because of the ice that Todoroki would have made. And yeah. So this would kind of run down the clock, and they wouldn't really have enough time to, go for other people. And by the time the match is over, Deku's still in first, Todoroki's still in second, and Bakugo is still in third, since he would have taken back his headband from Monoma and gotten him out. So yeah. So at this point, they would announce the second or the next part of the sports festival, that being the kind of tournament part. So Ojiro would still warn Deku about how Shinso has that kind of mind control power, right? But doesn't really tell him how he does it because he doesn't know, right? So we would get to the first match, and this would be Shinso versus Deku, right? So Deku is going against Shinso, right? And this, they don't really know. He doesn't know how his mind control powers work. So Shinso would kind of prompt Deku to kind of, speak, right? So he would be like, wow, it must be great to have such a powerful quirk and people see you as an angel. And Deku would be like, it's not, your quirk that makes you a hero, right? People look up to me because, I give off that kind of, I try to be there for people. I try to protect them. That's why people look up to me. It's not just because of my quirk, right? And this is when Shinso would start smiling, and Deku would be in this kind of mindset where like my body's not moving. What's happening? And Shinso would tell him to walk out of the ring. So Deku would start slowly walking out of the ring, and he's like, why am I going this way? I'm gonna lose if I continue this. And before he could even do anything, this is when Deku actually hops off the platform, because he was getting mind control. He doesn't really have a way to counteract this like he does in canon, because the dark matter doesn't have a mind of its own, so he can't do anything. So yeah, he would actually lose to Shinso in this case because of that. So the next fight would be Shinso versus Todoroki. Todoroki would see how Shinso got Deku out, and he's like, wow, Deku's so pathetic for even listening to this kid. And he would take him out pretty fast using his ice, just how he did to Zero. So yeah. So the final fight would be Bakugo versus Todoroki. So in this one, I would say that it goes a little bit different, since Todoroki does not have that kind of fight with Deku. So he kind of sees this as almost he's just trying to win at this point. He doesn't really care too much. So he's going against Bakugo, right? Bakugo would be coming at him, and it's similar to the fight with how it was in actual canon, right? But since Todoroki didn't have that fight with Deku to inspire him, he can actually get that from Bakugo, because I think Bakugo in this one would still provoke him to the point where like, why aren't you using your second quirk? if you want to even get close to beating me, you gotta use your other side of your power, else you're gonna be useless as a hero, right? So this is when Todoroki would start getting fired up and start using his fire side, basically. So this is when Todoroki actually his side of his body actually starts lighting up in flames, just how it does in canon, right? And he goes to charge up a very powerful fire blast, and Bakugo would also be doing a very powerful attack, which would be his howitzer impact. He would start spinning and that kind of spiral shape and go towards Todoroki, and this is when Todoroki would also launch his attack, right? And I think in this one, Todoroki would actually beat his howitzer impact because it was strong enough to go against Deku's kind of what was it, punch, and his fire side is a lot stronger when it comes to offense. So I think he'd be able to win that kind of blast, I guess. And as this kind of huge explosion would happen, Cementos would be there to kind of block the hits or block the attacks so it wouldn't hit the audience and things like that. And the winner would be declared to be Todoroki. Todoroki would get his medal, first place. Then the kind of rest would go to Bakugo and then Tokiyami. So yeah, All Might would praise Todoroki for using both of his sides when it really counted, and he would praise him for that. But he would also say like, you need to you gotta fight without hesitation, and you gotta clear your mind, things like that, right? And he would tell Bakugo like, you have a great fighting spirit, but you are too aggressive, and if you didn't tell Todoroki what you did back there, then you might have won. And I think Bakugo would still be in that kind of harness that he was in canon, because he would be like very angry. And then Tokiyami would get the third place medal, and yeah, there isn't much to say about his. And yeah, so this is gonna be the end of the video. This video is a little bit shorter than others, but it was only half of the kind of festival, I guess. So yeah, in the next part we'll go over the Stain arc, and then after that the teachers versus students, and then maybe the movie if we get far along to do that. So remember, I have a Discord, and if you want to join that, there'll be a link in the description. So yeah,